You gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis.
What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you?
It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. He looked good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. Thursday, September 4th, the NFL is back. It returns tonight. That's why I'm wearing the Lions sweatshirt, and it's cold outside. But the NFL returns tonight. All of the football is officially back. High school, college, pros. So it's a good Thursday here in the Quad Cities. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you're watching us live on YouTube, thank you for doing that. If you've subscribed, thank you as well. If you haven't subscribed, please do so ASAP. Tell a friend or two or 10 about what we're doing right here in the Quad Cities, Off the Air with Matt Randazzo, each and every weekday. Excuse me, I almost said Thursday. Each and every weekday right here at 10 a.m. Also, we are live on X. X has been extremely good to us. About 3,000 people watched the show yesterday on X alone. So thank you if you're one of those people doing it on X. And also, the podcasting platforms are alive and well. Check out the show on Spotify, Apple, Podbean, iHeart, you name it, wherever you get your podcasts. Check it out. A lot of those numbers are up as well, which is exciting. A lot of people tell me every day they download the podcast and listen to it when they're working out or running or anything like that. So we appreciate that. If you're one of those everyday people that does it, we appreciate that as well. It's a busy time of year. We are about 48 hours away from the Cy-Hawk game up in Ames at Jack Trice Stadium. Coming up in a matter of moments, we'll continue to take a look at the biggest game in the state of Iowa every year with the Hawkeye Report's Tom Kakert, but also Bill Seals from the Cyclone Report. So a little round table as we get set for what should be a really good football game between two good football teams coming up on Saturday. So that is just in a matter of moments. Also, the Illini on the road against Duke coming up on Saturday. Our good friend and Illini expert, Kedric Prince, will be along later in hour number 1 to take a look at a intriguing game between Duke and Illinois. Usually you would think Duke, Illinois, Madison Square Garden, Cameron Indoor, State Farm Center, great basketball game. Really good football game as well. Illinois, a 2.5 or 3-point favorite on the road. So we'll kind of break things down with Kedric Prince coming up in just a little bit. And also in hour number 2, I'm super excited because a long-standing Quad City tradition for sports is now back today on this show. Ness Guess, my good friend Marc Nesseler, longtime sports editor for the Dispatch Rock Island Argus, for 37 years, held the yearly Ness Guess contest, a great pick'em contest. You did in the paper, you did it online. I remember doing it when I was little. I'd sit at the table and fill it out. I got the chance to, be a picker with WQAD in later years, each and every week in the newspaper. So we're bringing it back. Marc Nesseler will be on the show in hour number 2, talk about how you can get involved, how you can fill your picks in. We'll have a little wager between the two of us on the winner and loser this year, but also you can get weekly prizes. We want to thank Hungry Hobo for being a great sponsor of Ness Guess. Ness Guess is back. We'll talk all about it in hour number 2. So also, if you're on the YouTube channel, make sure you check out all the shows from this week as well. We've really hammered the Cy-Hawk game. Pat Anger was on Tuesday. Yesterday, we had Jake Brent from Cyclone Fanatic on. We also chatted a little bit with Kyle Huseman. More on Iowa women's basketball recruiting, but got his thoughts on that game as well. So Ty Taylor's been on this week, kind of getting us caught up on some high school football. So a lot of great shows from this week as well, from Tuesday and Wednesday. Go check that out right now on all the platforms in which you can check out the show. Coming up tomorrow, Off the Air is on the road once again. Last week, we're at Pleasant Valley High School. Tomorrow, we will head to Geneseo High School. Really fun matchup between Assumption and Geneseo. One of the most intriguing matchups in week 2 of the high school football season. So we'll head out to Bob Reed Field, have a bunch of fun out there. Our good friends, Mitch and Greg from View from the West will have a segment as well, kind of talking about that side of the river. So a lot to get to on tomorrow's show. Excited to take the show on the road once again. On Saturday morning, if you're out and about driving around, or if you're in Iowa City, come join us at Big Grove Brewery. The Hawkeye Tailgate Show will take center stage at 9 o'clock, 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning. Great brewery up in Iowa City, Big Grove. So if you're up in Iowa City, check it out. If not, check us out on the Hawkeye Radio Network here in the Quad Cities. It's Vintage Radio 107.7 FM. So go ahead and check us out. It's the Hawkeye Tailgate Show, the pregame show for the Hawkeyes and Cyclones on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Super excited to be hosting that this year. So check us out this weekend as well. And then also later in the day on Saturday, we will have a post-game show. Myself, Tom Kakert, will break down whatever happens between the Hawkeyes and Cyclones sometime in the middle of the afternoon. I'm guessing that game's going to get done around 2. By the time Tom does all his work and gets everything done, I'm guessing maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock, we'll hop on and get you a post-game show. We'll also talk about Illinois and Duke on that show as well. I'll do more talking about that game than Tommy will, obviously, but a lot to get to. So a special Saturday show of Off the Air with Matt Randazzo this week as well. So much to get to. We mentioned NFL is back. We'll talk more about that with Marc Nesseler and the next guest coming up in just a little bit. Major League Baseball, the Cubs lose yesterday. Brewers win, so it's up to 6 games in the Central. The Cubs welcome Washington today to open up a series as well. So a lot to get to on today's show, but we're going to start where we've started each and every day, and why wouldn't we? The Cy-Hawk game is now about 49 hours away. So let's talk Cy-Hawk game once again, and I don't think you can talk enough about it. It's such a fun game in the state of Iowa. The Hawkeye Report's Tom Kakert, and the Cyclone Report's Bill Seals joins me right now to break this thing down. Bill, I want to first and foremost welcome you. This is your first time. We're used to Tom being here and saying stuff and all that kind of stuff. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, it's awesome to be at On3 with Tom, and our 2 sites were on the same network for a lot of years, and Tom moved over first, and we came over with the Rivals acquisition, and it's been awesome to work alongside he and Blair and Kyle again, and I'm looking forward to game week here, and we already kind of put our heads together on a behind enemy lines piece. So yeah, it's nice to be joined up with them again.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom Kakert here as well. Guys, it's the countdown's getting there. You were about 48 hours away ish from the kickoff at Jack Trice Stadium. Bill, I'm going to start with you. What's this week like? And I know we'll get to X's and O's and the games and all that kind of stuff, but I'm in Iowa City on Tuesday. Game's not even in Iowa City, and I see big sheets that say things I can't really say on – I can if I want to, but I prefer not to say on my show. And I've seen pictures from Ames as well. Like, there's no love loss. What's this week like? It really – especially with both teams being really good, it's a special week in the state of Iowa, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and both fan bases really get into it. I mean, this is, year number 24 for me doing this. I think Tom's well into this as well, so it's another Cy-Hawk week. So you're gonna see a lot of the fan bases talking smack, and now we've got social media that's so big and stuff. So I think it's gotten even more so, and Fox Big Noon kickoff. I think that's another big draw this year's game. ESPN College Game Day has been to Ames twice, I believe it was. And now we get the Fox show. So yeah, I think that just adds to the buildup of this year's game.
Yeah, Tom, it's funny. We were in Iowa City on Tuesday, and I think it's 43 Hawkeyes are from the state of Iowa, 44 Cyclones are from the state of Iowa. I think that says it right there. When you have 87 kids between the two rosters that grew up in the state, you don't have to educate them about the rivalry. They know about it, don't they?
Yeah, actually, we did a little Zoom interview with the linebackers coach and associate head coach Seth Wallace yesterday, and he brought up the fact that he said it was approximately 90 players on both rosters. 60 high schools from the state of Iowa are going to be represented in this game. So it is a game that speaks to the state. And the thing that he made a point of, and I think this is a great point, is that there are some in-state rivalry games, but you don't see as many in-state kids in those rivalry games. And that's why this matters so much, is that these kids grew up around this rivalry and watching it and seeing it develop. And then, even expanding it, the border states, there's a lot of kids from these border states that, are familiar with the rivalry as well. So it's going to be a really fun atmosphere, I think. It is every year. And here's the thing I always caution people. If you think you know what's going to happen, forget about it, because you can throw the records out. I mean, Bill and I have seen it all. We've seen Iowa State lose to UNI and then go beat Iowa. We've seen Iowa almost lose to UNI and then go beat Iowa State in Ames in 2009. I mean, you can throw the records out. Anything can happen on Saturday, and anything probably will.
Yeah, and you look at it. There's a Iowa native that we know, Tommy, Julian Vandervelde, that I think kind of summed it up best, which I hate the entity that is Iowa State. Like, it is, it's not a hate week, because I think and especially between the schools, I think there's a healthy respect when it comes to what Coach Campbell's done with his program, obviously what Kirk Ferentz does with the Iowa program as well. Bill, it's such a weird, like, the stats are so weird. And the one that everybody goes back to is, Iowa State hasn't won in Ames since 2011. But no home teams won since like 2019 or something like that. And then, of course, last year, Iowa State came in and beat Iowa in a game that, like, I'm still trying to figure out how Iowa lost it, squandering opportunities in the red zone. What, I guess, with all the weird stats and everything, what's the headline when you look at this game? What's the thing that stands out the most when you look at this year's Cy-Hawk game?
Well, I think it almost ties into what Tom had to say, in that anything can happen in this game. And there have been years where Iowa State's dominated in the statistical categories and lost. And on the flip side, like last year, gosh, Caleb Johnson, that game, on paper, that game should have been over after half. I think a lot of people in Kinnick Stadium thought it was over, and Iowa State was able to claw back, and Iowa State gives up so many yards to Caleb Johnson then in that game, couldn't stop the run, but they bowed up in the second half and down the stretch, got the job done. We've also seen Iowa State lose this game on special teams as well. The return that was muffed, and I think that was a game Iowa State, a lot of folks thought had in the bag at Jack Trice Stadium and should have been in the win column. It wasn't. So I think Tom and I looked at this game from both teams' perspectives, and I think special teams are going to be a strength in this one. So who knows? And when anything can happen, maybe it's not on special teams. I think those are both pretty good. So I think you look at turnover margin, and whatever team takes care of the ball is going to be the one that comes out on top.
Yeah, you used to look at it, especially with Iowa State, and it would be like advantage Iowa. And it was up until about 2-3 years ago where Iowa State got it figured out. And you look at Conradi, made a 63-yarder last week. So, I mean, there's definitely two really good special teams going at it at Jack Trice Stadium coming up on Saturday. Bill Seals from the Cyclone Report and Tom Kakert from the Hawkeye Report joining me right now and Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Tommy, headline for you as we get into this thing when it comes to Saturday's game in Ames?
Turnovers are going to decide it. I think that's pretty much the way I see it. You look at 2 years ago in Ames, Sebastian Castro picks off that pass and returns it for a pick six, and that helps him win. The year before that, the last time before that in Ames, Jack Campbell scoop and score kind of opened that game up from 14-10 to 21-10, and it was, I think Iowa kind of grabbed control at that point. We've just seen that over the years, and I think that's why Iowa has probably won those games in Ames, is because they've just created a bunch of turnovers. And if Iowa State can take care of the ball, it's going to be tough for Iowa to win. It's just a matter of, and I'll point out, Iowa did not create any turnovers against Albany last week. So that's just something that I think is going to decide the game, is who blinks, who makes the first mistake or the big mistake. And that's going to probably swing the game, because this game tends to be a 3 to 5 point game most years.
Yeah. Bill, you look at it, and maybe 8 days ago, 7 days ago, I would have said, man, this is a great matchup of quarterbacks. And probably Iowa State maybe a week ago still had an advantage at quarterback, but you look at it on paper right now, and I think if you look at it on social media, Iowa State has a huge advantage at quarterback. Do they? And Rocco Beck was fantastic last week. 19-20, almost 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and the kid's a winner. As a Cyclone media guy, what are your thoughts on the other end and what you saw from Marc Randazzo? And is it a decided advantage at the quarterback position for Iowa State?
Well, I think that Iowa was pretty vanilla in that game, really. I think from what I saw, they tried to get Gronowski rolling maybe a little bit in that game, and then it decided to run the ball and grind out a win and not really put too much out there at Iowa State. Whereas Iowa State, if they would have opened with South Dakota, it probably would have been the same story from an Iowa State perspective. But there's so much more of this Cyclone team on film after the K-State game over in Dublin, where Matt Campbell kind of had to go against his tendencies there to just against that FCS team to open a season, to be pretty plain and not put much out there either. But I think a lot more is known about this Iowa State team maybe than is known about this Iowa team so far. And we'll see. I think that probably benefits Iowa, really. I don't think really it can benefit Iowa State, other than maybe Iowa still kind of shaking the rust off a little bit. But on tape, nobody really knows what this Iowa team's about yet.
No, absolutely. Tommy, the quarterback thing, I know we've kind of beat it to I don't know if I've talked to you yet on the show here this week, but the sky's not falling in Iowa City on Tuesday? Marc Randazzo was okay and walking and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, he was not in a psych ward or anything, beat himself up over it. In fact, everything I've heard is that he responded really well Sunday and Monday to the advice given by Kirk Ferentz and Tim Lester, and just, they kind of reassured him. They're like, hey, look, you threw for 10,000 yards and 93 touchdowns at South Dakota State. You're a good quarterback. Just go out and play ball. And I think he played tight. That Albany team, and it's not like they're facing like Clemson or LSU or some powerhouse program. Albany is a team that they played, that Gronowski played in the 2023 semifinals in the FCS level, and they beat him 59-0. So it's not like he hasn't faced a team like that. I just chalk it up to nerves, trying too hard a little bit, just trying to be perfect. It's an NIL era, and maybe kids put a little pressure on themselves. They care a little bit, and they're getting paid a good dollar amount and want to perform well. And he just was tight in his first game at Kinnick, but I think he'll relax this week. I think maybe getting away from home might be a good thing. Just he can get out and just kind of play ball and let it loose. But one thing he did say that I thought was interesting is, I was talking to him about the 3-3-5 and facing that defense, and he said Iowa State tends to play kind of soft in coverage, where they're not going to let you get behind them. He didn't mean they were not physical soft, but they're very physical, but they're just kind of keep you in front. And he said that's going to probably lead to more dump off passes, and it's going to allow those guys to Jacob Gill and Seth Anderson and Ostringa, T.J. Washington, guys like that to make plays in space around line of scrimmage, and he's going to count on them to do that. And I think that's something that Iowa fans probably need to be aware of, because I know everybody wants to see him tossing it down the field and making big plays, and there just might not be there because of the way that the Iowa State defense is constructed.
One thing Iowa did well on Saturday, Tom, was run the football. And the guys up front, I remember Pat Angerer was on here Monday or Tuesday, probably Tuesday, and he talked about how watching game film, and they're violent and they're aggressive and physical. Does Iowa, in your opinion, and I'll ask Bill next, is there an advantage in the trenches, and is it a wide one? Is it pretty close? Your thoughts on where this game is usually won? You mentioned turnovers, but in the trenches as well.
Yeah, to be determined, I think. And Bill can speak to this better than I can, but Orange is just really dominant at nose tackle. I mean, he really controls things. And how Logan, I think it's a fascinating head-to-head between him and Logan Jones, and probably Bo Stevens helping out on him a little bit, chipping him. But how that gets controlled, I think, determines how well Iowa can run the football this week, because if they can neutralize Orange, then I think Iowa's got a chance to run the ball. If they can't, and he's disruptive, it's going to be a rougher day for Iowa to run the football. I also think we're going to see Gronowski run the ball, and that's something that Iowa State hasn't had to face against Iowa in the past. Iowa hasn't had a real running quarterback. Really, the last time they had a guy that ran against them was probably C.J. Beathard in that game, and he ran pretty well. But those were not designed runs. You're going to see some maybe almost designed runs by Gronowski, and that's going to be a challenge for Iowa State.
You mentioned C.J. Beathard, new Detroit Lion. C.J. Beathard signed the Lions yesterday. I got to give more Lions, more Hawkeyes in Detroit is a good thing. Bill, maybe flip it when it comes to the defensive line for Iowa State, and they haven't gotten to the quarterback very often yet this year. Obviously, Orange is a fantastic player, but is there a concern when it comes to turnovers and those kind of things? If Iowa does have an advantage, your thoughts, I guess, on the front lines between these two teams?
Well, yeah, as he mentioned, Dominic Orange is a dominant player, but outside of him, they've got a couple of first-year starters. Ken Esiago's been in the program for a while. He's at that strong side end in the 3-3-5, and then they got a Yale grad transfer, Tomatoa McDonough, that's at that Leo position. Von Troy Malone, a Tulsa transfer as well. As you can tell, they hit the transfer ranks hard on the D line. They added 3 new guys out of the portal, and that I think a product of them just not really having much of a pass rush. Granted, out of a 3-3-5, just a sheer numbers perspective, that's going to be hard to do. But they did with Will McDonald, and they did with Jaquan Bailey before that. But it's a defense that doesn't pressure the quarterback as much. And as Tom said, it's designed to kind of keep the play and keep the ball in front of you. I think maybe there is a little concern on the back end of this defense at safety. They lost 2 starters there. Jeremiah Cooper, the only returning starter, they moved him over to cornerback. Well, cornerback, that's pretty solid with him and Jontez Williams, but you've got 5 or 6 safeties right now that kind of floating around on the back end of that defense that are pretty young and inexperienced. Now they've had some flash plays along the way, but they've also they had a couple of those long plays against Kansas State that got behind the defense, and you just don't, in a 3-3-5, you don't see that very often. Plays like that getting behind the safeties, but that youth and inexperience, and there could be some of those chunk plays there for Iowa in this game. You mentioned the running quarterback aspect. I think that's certainly the last couple of years is one that Cyclone fans have seen a lot of running quarterbacks have success, finish with 50, 60, 70 yards on the ground, move the chains 2 or 3 times on third down, get those yards. I think that was at least encouraging a little bit for the defense, that they held Avery Johnson from K-State to just 21 yards. He was a guy, I think, that had 50 to 60 yards on the ground in that meeting last November. So they did a better job against a mobile type quarterback in that week 0 game. And I think they're going to need to do another good job this week with Gronowski.
Guys, I was getting ready for the pregame show yesterday, going through like old moments from this series. I like to put one in the first segment of the pregame show. There's been a lot. So I wanted to ask you guys, and Bill, I'm going to go with you first. Is there a moment in the Cy-Hawk game that stands out? I mean, obviously there's several. You mentioned 24 years doing this. Is there a moment that, like, I mean, there's been some crazy plays, some crazy finishes. Is there one or two that kind of stands out for you from the Cyclone angle of things?
Well, I'm going to start most recently, and then that the 54-yarder from Conradi in Kinnick Stadium last year, and as one of the signature plays, and not just because it won the game, but because of how Iowa State was able to flip that game around in the second half, and then win in a fashion like that. Could go further back too. I think it's been my second year covering this team. I believe was it the 2000 game when J.J. Moses had that big play early in the game for a touchdown. That was a big one. You look at the 1 year, was it 2001 or no? It would have been 2002, I believe, when Seneca Wallace had the
Seneca Wallace.
Yeah, the Seneca Wallace game where Iowa State, I think it was 24-7. They were down in that game.
It was.
Turned around and came back to win. Yeah. So there have been some signature moments, maybe some not so memorable moments. I think I mentioned this a little bit earlier, the muffed punt in that game in Jack Trice Stadium. That was when Matt Campbell was on the sidelines, a game that would have marked Campbell's first win in this series as head coach. It didn't work out that way. So, I mean, there have been, as Tom was saying when we first got started, anything can happen in this game, and anything probably will, and that lends to having some of these highlight reel plays like this.
Absolutely. Tommy, your thoughts on Iowa memories from this series, and you're really old, so you can go back a ways if you want to.
I actually went to the 98 game when Dan McCarney, I was covering that one. I had the passes from K-Jock, and I just remember everybody like just stunned in the press box seeing Iowa State finally break that streak and beat Iowa in Iowa City, and that's when everybody kind of went, "Oh my gosh, holy cow, look at this!" The 02 game sticks out. I'll tell you, the 03 game sticks out for me because there was so much pressure on Kirk Ferentz to finally beat Iowa State. He had been 0-for against the Cyclones, and everybody was like, "Yeah, you had this great 02 season and all this, but you can't beat Iowa State." And Sean Considine had a block punt. I think he might have had 2 block punts in that game, and Mo Brown had a big touchdown reception in that game. They won at Jack Trice. Remember the game, Matt, I was telling you about the 17 game with Akram and those guys, the 44-41 game. They've had 2 44-41 games, each team winning those, kind of in the same span. It was like the 2011 game was 44-41 Iowa State, and then Iowa had the 44-41, and that was Akram Wadley going down the sidelines in the last couple minutes of that game to score, and then Amir Smith-Marset catching the touchdown to win it in overtime. That was just that was a wild game. But there's recently it's been kind of low scoring, 2 great defensive coordinators in this game. It's just hard to score points now. you got great guys that are the best at their craft, and it is just they make it hard to score points in this series now.
It was
Yeah,
fun
Phil
because
Parker probably wasn't the defensive coordinator in those 44-41 games, was he?
He wasn't. I think 11 was Norm's last year. I think.
Okay.
And then so Norm Parker was, but the 17 game he was.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, that's certainly out of the ordinary.
I went back and watched that game because I was working on some radio stuff last night, and I'm like, and we had kind of talked about it and which one should I use. So I used the Amir Smith Marset call from Gary Dolphin. But I figured I might as well toss it on and watch it. And there's so many great memories from this series. And like I've told people, I think I mentioned earlier this week, I'm a Quad City kid that grew up with it not being that big of a deal because Iowa always beat. I'm 46. Iowa always won. We mentioned 98 and McCartney finally winning. Like I was shocked because Iowa always. Now as I've gotten older and the series has gone on, obviously, especially the last 10, 15 years, it's been a fantastic series. Before I let you both go, I gotta get predictions on how this game goes. Bill, I'll start with you. Who wins the Cy-Hawk game this year, Jack Trice Stadium, and why?
Well, I think that I'm going to take Iowa State in this one. In the piece I did for Tom, I had 24-20, the final score. I think that Iowa State in this game, they're going to try and grind out some yards on the ground. My prediction is they probably won't be able to sustain a whole lot. I think this is a close game, and you go into the fourth quarter, and you've got Rocco Beck, the quarterback, who during his time as the starter, Iowa State's had 5 fourth quarter comebacks for victories. I think this is going to be a close game. At the end, the ball's in Rocco Beck's hands, and I like Iowa State's chances. But again, they're going to have to at least break even, I think, in turnover margin or be +1, +2 in order to have a chance. And if they lose the turnover margin, I entirely throw out my 24-20 prediction because it probably does not come out that way. I'm just basing it mainly off of, Iowa State's 38-9 under Campbell when they've won the turnover margin. So they've done that quite a bit, and they've been successful when they've done it. Plus, playing at home, I think they're going to get the job done for the first time in the Matt Campbell era in Ames.
Yeah, you mentioned it too. They used to struggle winning close games, and now, especially since Rocco Beck took over, they win them more often than not, which is again a sign of a good leader, a pretty dang good quarterback in Ames. Tommy, I don't know if I've even talked to you off the air, if that makes any sense, about a prediction or anything. Do you give it to me? Lay it on me. What do you got?
I floated on this one a little bit, but on the score, I settled last night on like 17-14, Iowa winning. But I think this is how it's going to end. Is it's a flip from last year. I think Drew Stevens. I know he really wants this one. And wants that field goal opportunity. So Drew shared a funny story on Tuesday when we were talking to him, that Tory Taylor was on the sidelines for the Iowa game on Saturday because the NFL was off. So Tory came back to Iowa City, and Drew hits that 55-yard field goal. It's his career long. He comes off the field, and Tory right away goes, "Hey, the kid from Iowa State just hit a 63-yarder today," just to rub it in, and Drew is just like, "Yeah, okay, Tory." He's just needling him. So I think Drew really wants to get that back. I mean, he wants to win the game. So I'm going to go with the Drew Stevens 60-yard field goal to win it. How about that?
Drew Stevens' 54-yarder was probably good from 63 last week as well, and then Canardi with a 63-yarder as well. It'll probably come down to something like that. Both you guys, obviously, On3's got this game covered. For the Iowa State fans, Bill, watching this here in the Quad City area, how do they get locked into the Cyclone Report and what you guys do each and every day?
Yeah, we're the Iowa State site on the On3 network, cyclonereport.com. Doing a lot of recruiting work out of this weekend. It's a home game for Iowa State, so there's going to be a lot of recruiting coverage. There has been leading up to it. There will be coming out of it. Iowa State's big chance to host recruits for this Cyhawk game. Obviously, next year will be Iowa's turn. So be a lot of that coming out of it. And yeah, I mean, we're excited to be with On3 now. The national support and the recruiting staffs have been doubled from what we had at Rivals. So the national desk coverage. So I think there's just so much more value to your membership now with being with On3, and we're excited to have Iowa State's site on there. And gosh, what are we in month number 3 already? So time flies.
No, it's awesome. And Tom, I know that Blair and Dennis and Kyle will be carrying you per usual, and you'll cover the game.
Absolutely. They always do. Yeah, they carry me.
Yeah, Kyle was
So,
on here yesterday.
and
he killed it as always. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and Matt and I will be doing our a pod afterwards, talking about what happened on Saturday. So
Yeah, I'm
look for
excited
that
about
too.
that, Tom, because I think it's going to work out great. Where I'm doing the pregame show from Iowa City. I'm gonna come home, watch the game here, and then I'm gonna get all set up. So by the time you actually do work and get everything done, we can hop on and talk about what should be a great game in Ames, Iowa State coming up this Saturday, 11 o'clock kick at Jack Trice Stadium. Bill, Tommy, I appreciate both you guys. Enjoy Saturday, and we'll talk again real soon.
Sounds good. Appreciate you guys having me.
All right. That is Bill Seals and Tom Kakert from the Hawkeye Report and Cyclone Report, because I don't know if you knew this, but there's a little game this weekend, the little Cyhawk game. So also this weekend, the college football season continues with a big game for the Fighting Illini. They're on the road at Duke without the long-awaited return of Kedric Prince is next right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Yeah, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with. Are you looking to take your next party, tailgate, or golf outing to the next level? You need mobile party experience. MPX features 3 top-of-the-line party trailers equipped with all the amenities you need to party like a rock star. Smart TVs, Yeti coolers, JBL sound systems, grills, bathrooms, and much more. Mobile Party Experience is an experience like no other. Check out my-mpx.com or call 563-514-1470 and book your mobile party experience today. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. I've been getting complaints all week. We've been talking a lot Cy-Hawk stuff. Obviously, it's a big game coming up in Iowa, but there's an equally as big a game for the Fighting Illini. And so I've been promising him all week. Without further ado, the handsomest Illini expert I know. That's a low bar. Oh, y'all are ugly, but it's a low bar. No. Kedric Prince joins me right now. First and foremost, my friend, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm not going bad, man. How about yourself?
I'm busy, but that's a good thing, right?
True. I guess we both are. I want to tell you, they should get off your back, man. Iowa State Iowa fans shouldn't say anything about having the Illinois guy. You don't work for WQAD. Yeah. This is your show, your gig, man. And you do you, man, because I'm going to do me. So at the end of the day, you don't have to cater to those people, man. If they want to follow me, you've had me on a number of times. They know where to find me.
Yeah.
You enjoy your life, and I like those helmets right there, man, but you don't have to cater to those people. If they want to know Illinois stuff, it's out there, baby.
You know which helmet I'm trying to add? Central Michigan.
Why?
You know who coaches up at Central Michigan? You work over in the building. Matt Drinkle. He's a former Bettendorf Bulldog.
What?
Yeah, Matt Drinkle's the former Bettendorf Bulldog, former Iowa Hawkeye. He started at Ambrose as a OC, went to Kansas Wesleyan. He's been at Army for the last, probably 5 or 6 years as their offensive coordinator. He's now the head coach at Central Michigan. He's got both Van Wetzingas up there playing. So he won his first game. He won his first game as a head coach on Friday. They upset San Jose State out in California. So that's the one. He texted me. I had Rusty on the show, and Rusty was talking about the victory, and he texted me about it. I said, boy, like a Central Michigan helmet would look nice up here. I'm all about free stuff, Ken. That's my I'm all about free stuff. So enough about Central Michigan. Let's talk Illini. I want to touch on Western Illinois first before we move ahead to this week's game. I think they checked every box. They did everything they needed to do. And there is an eyeball test, if that makes sense, in a game like these. Like Iowa won 34-7. It wasn't a close game, all that kind of stuff. There is an eyeball test that people wonder about. When it comes to Illinois, 52-3, I thought they passed the eyeball test. Your thoughts?
I thought they did too, and there were some people who were a little disappointed. I wasn't. The people who were disappointed, they wanted to see the air raid game and different offensive techniques. But I'm going to tell you, if you know anything about football, it's a little different than basketball. They're not going to show their hand. They know Duke was watching. And I can assure you Saturday at 11 o'clock Central Time in Durham, North Carolina, that you're going to see a different offense. You're going to see some things different that you did. It was very vanilla. They won 52 to 55-3, whatever it was. And, it's a good paycheck for Western Illinois. They got $500,000, and they're going to get $500,000 again when they play Northwestern on Friday. So they did their job, and they won. At the end of the day, they won. And some people were complaining, they played Western. Do you know how many schools put those games on their schedule? That's why they pay out. That's why Duke is up next. I mean, everybody has those games.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Kedric Prince joining me right now and Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Duke is next. Boy, Ken, I've talked to you a lot about Illinois and Duke and matchups with Illinois and Duke, never in football. It's usually we're talking about a basketball matchup or Madison Square Garden or something like that. Just in general, to have these two programs, and you look at the schedule this week, it's probably, outside of our area, one of the top games on the schedule. Oklahoma and Michigan play, Iowa State, but Duke and Illinois is a big game. Just to have those two schools playing in a big game in football is pretty cool, isn't it?
It really is, and it's funny because when they scheduled Duke years ago, they weren't that good. I think it was a game where they thought they could go on and just win, but things have changed. It is a good football program. It's better than a good football program. I watched, of course, I fish with my son every other day and golf with my daughter every other day. But when those days off, when I do have a few moments, I'll watch game film. And I watched Duke play last year, and I watched them play the replay of their game against Elon last week, and I'm going to tell you, that defense is outstanding. Illinois' offensive line better come into play. Illinois defensive coach Aaron Henry talked about the quarterback, and I don't want to butcher his name, but I think it's Darian Messiah. I don't know if people realize this. They paid $4 million for that kid. That kid is really good. So I'm just telling you right now, if they think that's why the spread's only 3, Matt. There's a reason for that. They're a good team. They're traditionally a basketball team, but this team is aggressive defensively. They are extremely athletic. And I'm going to tell you, they better block, and they better block and give Luke Altmaier time because he's going to be on his back a lot if they don't do that.
You mentioned Luke Altmaier. Good performance week 1. You look around college football, you look around the Big Ten, and to have a guy like that, Ken, it's invaluable. I mean, anybody would love to have a guy like that with that experience, with that pedigree, with that, ability. Kind of talk about what you saw from him. Obviously, Western Illinois didn't have to do a lot, didn't need to do a lot, but for him to go on the road and in a hostile environment, he's been there. He's done that in several conferences as well. That's got to help come Saturday, doesn't it?
It's going to help a lot, not just with him. He's a big part of it. Don't get me wrong, because he's been there for 3 years, and Illinois has not had a quarterback there in 3 years in probably 20-something years. It's been a long time. So his veteran leadership is going to pay off. But also, they have 16 of the 22 starters back. So this isn't something new to the other guys as well. Some of the new guys, it may be, I know last week when they played Elon, there was nobody in the stands except for crickets, but I'm sure Saturday will be a lot different. If there was one area of concern that I guess I'm really curious to see is how the receivers are going to react on the road. I'm not worried about the defense and the Matthew Baileys of the world. And, you mentioned Luke Altmaier, because if he makes a mistake now, he doesn't beat himself up over it. They've given him the reins, and he's able to call things off, and, it's different for him. But the receiving core looked good last week. There were a couple of times where I thought they missed routes. They stopped running. But here nor there, I think the biggest thing, that would be my concern. But Luke is not going to get rattled. And, and I'm going to tell you, if the offensive line does his job, they'll only have a chance. But if he gets hit a couple of times, and I don't think you're going to see the Luke Altmaier you did when he first arrived at Illinois. I think he'll make some adjustments, and I think the staff will. One of my favorite things, I like about Illinois, and I've not seen this in Illinois football in my lifetime, they make really good adjustments at halftime, Matt. That is one reason why they won 10 games. They adjust at halftime.
Kedric Prince joining me right now and off the air with Matt Randazzo. Let's flip to the defensive side of the football. Giving up 3 points against anybody is fantastic. Obviously, Western Illinois isn't Duke and what they'll see this week. What did you like about them on that side of the ball? Gabe Akis, the preseason All-American, looks the part. You mentioned Matthew Bailey in the back end. It has the makings of being a really good defense, and that defense has to show up. And I mentioned Akis, get some pressure this weekend against Duke.
Well, that's going to be tough. See, that's the thing about this quarterback. I don't like the dual threat quarterbacks. I like them if they're on your team. But if you're you ask any defensive coach, even though I'm Parker, they'll tell you, having a scheme against quarterbacks like that's tough, because if they don't have a play down the field, and you need 5 yards, they can get it with their feet. And this kid can do that. And the thing is, I guarantee it, they're not going to run toward Gabe's side. They'll go to the other side, and he'll get double teamed. So, therefore, the other side is going to have to make plays. They're going to have to limit what they throw downfield. And that's what we talked about with age. I think they're going to be prepared. I think it's a big game for Aaron Henry, the defensive coordinator, as well, to see if they can slow down this Duke offense, because you're going to see the full throttle with them as well. But Gabe looked really, really good. It looked easy for him last week, to be honest with you. He's gotten bigger, and, the more I think about it, Illinois fans, you're lucky that Luke Altmaier is back, but I'm going to tell you, from everything I've heard, especially in the last 3 weeks, Gabe should have been playing on Sundays right now, next week, because he's that good of a player. If he stays healthy, look out, because he's good. He's really, really talented.
Ked, you look at special teams in a game like this, when it's a 3-point spread, 2.5-point spread, whatever it is, special teams can play a big role. Obviously, Hank Beatty in the punt return game is going to be a factor. Is it edge Illinois, and is it when you start looking at matchups like this where there is little advantages that could make the difference in a football game?
Well, I don't know what Duke special teams are like. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you or your listeners, but I know that Illinois They spend a lot of time on it. Some Division I coaches don't pay much attention to it. They pay attention to what the coaches say. Brett Bielema has his hands on every single thing. When I went to one of his clinics once, that was one of the things he talked about, how you can lose games in the first and second quarter by poor special teams play. And he will break that down with the special teams unit throughout the week. So with Hank being back there, I think that's great. He's older. I remember when they recruited him, he's a speedster. And, he broke records last week. So to me, from what I know, Illinois would have the edge, but I wouldn't be kicking to him. I will tell you that. But he's really, really talented. And to be honest with you, that makes a big difference because, field position is huge. And in a game like this, what I want to see is Illinois come out and just go all out. I don't want to see them, try to establish themselves. I want to see them put Duke away early and not let them hang around because they have the home field advantage, even though Illinois is the favorite. Special teams play, penalties, Cole Rusk is another guy, Quad City guy, and I think they threw the ball to him twice. I think they want to see him block a little bit more because it's a physical game, and he's extremely talented. I think they're going to throw the ball to him more in the out, but once he starts blocking a little bit more, I think that's going to change the game for them as well.
You mentioned Cole Rusk. I wanted to ask you about Matthew Bailey. We mentioned it a few times. Obviously, didn't fill the stat sheet up with anything crazy, but a nice opener for him. And it's one of those things where that young man's going to play on Sundays, I think, and it's about staying healthy for him too. So it's nice to see him get through a game, play, stay healthy, and I think he is an X factor on this defense, isn't he, Ked?
What's funny is that I remember when he committed to Illinois, my daughter, she went to the press conference with me, and when he was playing Saturday, I'm like, look at that guy's body. Look what they've done to him.
He's a grown man.
His neck looks like the Incredible Hulk. And he's fast. He didn't slow down. Matthew looks really, really good, and he's physical. That's why I think he has a chance to play on Sundays. And, he wasn't the fastest guy when he played at Moline. So people always say, well, you can't teach speed. Somebody did it because he's faster. He tackles really well. He tackles well in space, and he's physical. That's why I think he has a good chance to play on Sundays. And last week against Western, I just don't think it was there for him, I guess, to make plays. Going back to the defense, you asked me earlier, so I apologize for that. Last week, I think Illinois defense fell asleep. And it wasn't Matthew Bailey, but I heard a couple of kids got chewed out at halftime. They fell asleep because Western was boring. You can't do that. You have to stay on your P's and Q's. But anyway, I do think Matthew has a chance to play on Sundays, and Brett does too. And, I know NFL scouts are always around now, which is nice. Not just, that didn't happen in Illinois before. It was always in Iowa, Michigan, and everywhere else. Now you have a lot of NFL scouts sitting in the press box and coming to practices watching.
Ked, Illinois has a top 11 team going on the road to take on a team in which they're the hunted. This is a nationally ranked big-time team coming to their place to play a football game. Think about that. How weird is that to hear? Not weird, but for Illinois fans who've been through it, but they've been through it. That's amazing to think. They're a top 11 team in the country going on the road week 2. Is it a different feeling? Is it a different? Hey, I'm a Lions fan. When it took me a while to get used to them being good. Are you used to this team being good?
No. And any Illinois fan tells you that they're lying. Matt, let's be honest. The football program stunk. When we would have all those fun conversations about Illinois and Iowa, I was just talking to have fun because I knew damn well Iowa was better than Illinois. I knew that. I don't think that now. I think it's on either one team's better than the other, but point being Illinois is competitive. It's hard to get used to it because typically if you talk to any Illinois fan, and you have friends that are Illinois fans, bad things happen to them. This is an opportunity for this. They beat Duke, and they go to Indiana. There'll be game day in Champaign if they handle business when they play Ohio State. But Illinois typically does something stupid in the past, not saying this team will do it, where they'll lose a game, Duke game, and then it changes the whole trajectory. So it'd be nice if they could go out and they could win, and they should win. That's why they're favorite. But no, people aren't used to it, man. It's different because I've seen it in basketball, things that they should win. Like they went to the final Elite Eight a few years ago and beat Iowa State. Then they end up having to play UConn, who ended up winning it all. If they didn't have to play UConn, they might have went to the championship game. Those are things that typically happen to Illinois. That's why fans are kind of nervous and scared because they want to see it. They don't believe it. And I'll tell you, reporters say it, fans say it, but I get it. I understand.
Ken, before I let you go, give me a prediction, give me a thought process. What's the final score and why it ends the way it does for Illinois?
I think it's going to be 30-27, 30-24, somewhere around there. The reason I think it's going to be different for Illinois, if the receivers make plays, Illinois' offensive coordinator, Barry Lunny Jr., if you go back and look at his past, they are masterful at if they have the lead, keeping the lead with 5 or 6 minutes to go in the game. If they're up by 5 or 6 minutes to go in the game, they'll turn the ball over. Their game is over. They have a 2-minute offense that is outstanding. And anybody listening to this, if you have access to going back and watching games, watch what they do when they have the ball. It is strictly ball control. And this is one of the reasons I said Brett Bielema is a masterful coach. He doesn't give the ball back. They'll run 5-6 yards, throw 5-6 yards, and you never get it back. If they can have the lead and don't turn it over late, the game will be over, regardless of whether it's at Duke or whoever. I just think they do a really good job. That's probably my favorite thing about Brett Bielema football.
What did you learn before I let you go? What did you learn about the Big Ten in week one? What headline did you take away? Was there anything you learned about the conference, even college football in general, as you watched football probably nonstop last weekend like most of us did?
I think the Big Ten was 16-2 or something like that. To be honest with you, Matt, I was a little disappointed with the Big Ten. Just how close some of the games were. Yeah. Ohio State, you can flip a coin. They were playing Texas, but they scored 14 points. Even Iowa. I mean, I was joking off my Iowa fans, but that game was too close for me. It shouldn't have been. Yeah. You're playing an inferior opponent. You look at the rest of the conference, and they should have just Wisconsin, Nebraska. If you're going to be the elite conference along with the SEC, you got to go out and dominate. And I didn't see the Illinois did because they played Western Illinois. But truthfully, I'm a little concerned about it because I know some of those were road games. And I know Wisconsin, Cincinnati didn't hold anything back because they could have lost those games. Michigan looks decent to me. I'm really curious to see what they do against Oklahoma, but I'm concerned about how the conference looked in general.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Thursday night, it was weird. I get a text message that's like, man, all these Big Ten teams are on the ropes. I turned on the TV and I was like, wow, like Nebraska probably should have lost the game. Minnesota didn't impress. Iowa, it was 7-3 in the second quarter. Everybody's looking around like, wait, what's going on? So it is a long season. Openers are openers, all those kind of things. I know it's work today. Is it fishing or is it golf today after work?
It's work today and bring out the Callaways, baby.
I love it. Hey, Ken, you live a good life. Tell people how to follow you if they want to get all the information with the Illini. How do they get hooked up?
Well, I'm mostly on Twitter at Kedric Prince 4. My Facebook that I got 3 years ago was supposed to be for family, but now it's 60-40 family, and it's got some Illinois stuff on it. So, but mostly Twitter. I mean, that's what I really follow. And then Illini Guys is a company I work for, and then I work for your old place, WQAD, which is what I put on Facebook. So I'm out there if you want to know. That's what I was telling you. Your fans and your listeners shouldn't be saying anything. The information's out there for them, buddy.
Well, Ken, it's nice because I'm the pregame host, so like I can wave the Hawkeye flag and not get yelled at. I'm actually
I saw that last week.
So
I was going to give you a hard time.
Now I don't have to worry about I feel like I'm a 13-year-old again. I can actually like root for Iowa and not sit here and be unbiased and all that kind of stuff.
You know how hard that is? I don't think, Matt, can I say something real quick? Yeah. I don't think people know how hard that is for us because we grew up as big-time fans, and when you're in the media, you have to sit there. You can't do it, and that is one of the hardest things for people like us, I guess. Sorry.
No, you're right, and I always found that my first trip to Iowa City, Dan Birch was like, hey, don't be wearing any Iowa stuff. You can't. And I don't think I did, but like he swears that I was on the baseline. You could see me on TV for a basketball game, and I had the camera in one hand and I was doing this with pumping my fist with the other hand. I'm like, I was not, but it's hard. And you take friends to games and like, you got to tell them like, hey, you can't wear like black and gold overalls or something like that. You have to dress the part and all that kind of stuff. So, no, it's been fun. I really love what Illinois is doing though. Like I said, Ken, it takes a guy with a Tiger Hawk tattoo to turn around your program. So you know
whatever.
That. So
I'll take it.
Hey, get to work. I appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
See you, buddy.
All right, that is Kedric Prince. Follow him on X for everything you possibly need when it comes to the Fighting Illini. What I love about Ked is that he always has an opinion and he stands by it. Whether he's right, whether he's wrong, he sticks with that as well. So a lot more to get to. Coming up after the break, I'm excited about my next guest because we're bringing back a longtime Quad City sports tradition right here on Off the Air. We'll explain it and announce it next right here on Off the Air on a Thursday right here in the Quad Cities.
Give me the keys. Learning to drive can be stressful for both the student and, yes, the parent as well. Relax. There's an easy way to avoid the stress. Skiles Driving School in East Moline has been helping new drivers hit the road with confidence for over 20 years. Whether you're a teen earning your first license or an adult looking for behind-the-wheel training, we've got you covered. Their certified instructors are patient, experienced, and use modern vehicles equipped for safety and comfort. From classroom instruction to real-world driving, we make learning safe, affordable, and even fun. Call 309-278-0098 or visit skylesdriving.com. Skiles Driving School. Get in, buckle up, drive your future forward.
Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. Of course, a big week of football. And this is the biggest week of football in my mind because, you know, you're slowly introduced to college and high school, but professional football returns tonight, full weekend of games. And it got me thinking of, you know, when I was little. And when I was little, I was always like, you know, I wanted Alleman to win on Friday. I wanted Iowa to win on Saturday. And I wanted the Lions to win on Sunday. And I remember like just being football crazy. And it started with sitting down and filling out a pick'em contest every single week. And everybody knows what I'm talking about. It was Ness Guess. It was in the Rock Island Argus and Dispatch every single week for decades upon decades upon decades. And so I said to myself, I want to do that again. So I made a phone call. And I got the man himself. Marc Nesseler is back. And Ness, I'm really excited about this. Ness Guess is back as well.
I mean, when we mentioned it when I was on your show earlier,
yeah,
and I was reluctant. But man, the more I thought about it, the more I thought, you know what? Because it's been 7 years. It's been 7 years since it ended. And I did it for 37 years. Like you said, decades on decades. So it's good to be back. It's good to be back. And I hope it gets a lot of interest in the Quad Cities. I think it will be. I think there's people that just love to make picks, and they especially like to beat me and you. So we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, and Ness, it's great because and I've talked to people about it. I'm like, hey, I think we're gonna bring Ness Guess back, and you grew up I grew up doing it. And then I had like a 4 or 5 year stint where I got to be the picker as the sports director at WQAD, and you killed me, I think, every year. We'll get to that in a second. But that's the cool thing is I think it takes people back, and there's a void missing sometimes when it comes to the newspaper and those type of pick contests. And so many people took part in it. So many people won it. I've had people. Brian Stocking tells me he won it like every other week, it seems like.
Yeah. Brian Stocking is a past winner.
Yeah, but kind of talk about that because it was something that people did as they grew up. And I think you realize that as well.
Well, yeah, and anywhere I went in the past 7 years, I would be at McDonald's and they'd say, hey, do you still have the Ness Guess contest? And I'd say, no, not anymore. But yeah, and they would remind me of how often they played and whether they won or not. And if I had a winner, do you remember my name? And usually I would.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I can probably rattle off a few names.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it was something I always, like I said in the open, I did growing up. I got to do it as a sports director. Kind of talk about how it evolved. And whose idea it was, and then and I watched it evolve as it went. And I think there may have been high school picks to start, which is something
we started off.
We're staying
with,
away from that. Like, there's no reason for me to get in trouble by any.
Well, you don't want to. We actually caught grief for picking high school games, but it started off in 1981. Jeff Wendland, who was on my staff, and I got together and we said, why don't we pick games? And we picked a ton of games. I bet it was close to 50 games in that first year. I can't even imagine even doing that now, but we picked high school. We picked college, just about every college you could imagine, and we picked all the pros. Well, then eventually we got rid of the high school games. It was college and pro. It was 25 games at that point. And then we got sponsorship. And when we were able to make money off the contest, instead of giving money, we made money. We went pro only. And oftentimes we had the sponsor picking against me. Now, there were exceptions. I know Dan Burrich picked for a year or two, and I know you picked for several years. Yeah. We've had special guests. I think Duncan Reed at one point picked games.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm pretty sure I won that week. And even if, I'll say I won any, it doesn't matter. So, but yeah, it's all fun. It's all fun.
Yeah. And we do.
And I think we can actually go that direction. We can go that direction now if you wish. I mean, we can always add special celebrities.
Absolutely. I think that's something we can do as we go through the year. We do have to thank Hungry Hobo. And Hungry Hobo has been a great sponsor of this show since we started. But when I talked with Price Bowie, he was like, you guys had such a great partnership. Hungry Hobo and
really Hungry Hobo 11. Hashtag Hungry Hobo 11 Player of the Week.
Yeah.
We did it often. It was every game. Back then we covered every football game. UT, Rocky, Moline, Alleman, West Illinois, and every game had a player of the game. Yeah. And that was the Hungry Hobo, hashtag Hungry Hobo 11. I'll never forget it. And we won an Associated Press award for innovative advertising for sports. So, Price, we're in the books.
Yeah, it worked. It worked great. And I'm putting Price on the spot if he's watching this, but I want to do this segment a couple times from a Hungry Hobo. Like, how great.
Oh, yeah.
It's always great seeing you, and I'd like this. And we thought about coming out to the house. It didn't work out with your schedule, my schedule. But, like, how much more fun would this segment be if we were both eating a sandwich with waffle fries, right? Like, that's
number seven with waffle fries, right up my alley.
See, I'm an A chicken.
I love it.
I'm an A chicken on wheat.
You're an A chicken. I'm a 7.
So
7 turkey.
We'll work on that as well. So we did, you and I was young and dumb, and I probably should have known better. But I was, back in the day, I was like, I wonder what year this was. I got to figure it out. But I made the dumb idea to, like, hey, let's do a bet. And so we decided to do a pie in the face. And I can't remember was this, because it happened twice, didn't it? Or just once?
It happened just once.
Okay.
We talked about this. We never got the arrangement for a second time.
Yeah. Well,
but I have a feeling that's.
Yeah, it's possible. So let's.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Let's take a look back into the archives at the consequences for
I love
picking
this.
against and going against Ness Guess.
All right, get the drum roll.
My heart's kind of beating a little fast here because I know the danger that I put you in last year. Now,
I'm glad the Cassie Hyder's taking a picture of this, too.
Now, do you want the ear thing in too as well? I don't know. I just don't. Oh, okay. Now I'm gonna count you down from 5. Okay.
Can you count to 5?
No, I'm counting down. I'm counting backwards. Okay. That's a little tougher. Right. So it's 5, 4, 3. Oh my. Rub it in a little bit. Look at all this. You messed up the good stuff. Here, let's.
It looks the same as last year.
Not if we put this on top, huh?
We got more to do.
Oh, you want a whole nother pie?
More to do.
Now I got my hands messy.
Oh my God! Somebody get Ness a towel. He's got messy hands. Oh, poor guy.
There you go, thanks.
Are you eating that?
I didn't eat. I didn't lick my fingers, but I took the top off. All right, now we have one more pie. Look at all the.
Does he need the towel?
I gotta need a towel. Thank you, Corey.
I'm here for him.
How was it compared to last year? Better?
Well, you lied.
Huh?
You couldn't make it to 0, could you?
You questioned it, and you should have known.
Okay. I don't have a microphone on, so nobody can hear me, right?
Oh, they should be able to pick you up.
So I can cuss like a.
All right. Did we want to take?
This is great television.
We don't want to wait. We don't want to waste a whole French silk. So, we'll take that there.
We got a spoon there. I'm gonna take a bite of it too.
There you go. Good. Yeah. Tell us how good it is.
Can I at least get a bite before it's on my face? I'm gonna get more than a bite, aren't I?
It is good stuff. You'll enjoy this one more than the other one.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's get the missuses.
Yeah. Right.
Bring our lovely wives out.
Mrs. Ness Guess and Mrs. Dazzo Guess.
Can you take care of my little one so my wife can come out?
He's upset. He saw your face.
Okay, come on out, ladies.
Now the way I understand this is they're both going to have a hand.
Mm-hmm.
One left, one right. Jen, you want to come over on this side?
Remember, Jen, you got a birthday coming up.
So you get extra bonus points if you do it well.
That's right.
Why do I?
Here, just there you go. How do you guys want? You want to count it down? Should we count it down from? Actually, 5 didn't work so well, so we can do it with 3.
Welcome to the Marc Nesseler Show.
3, 2, 1, 0, -1.
That's heavy.
I didn't want to be the one to start it.
I can't do this to Ness, but I can do this to you.
That looks really good. I especially like the
Still got a little bit
the crust. The crust on the forehead was a great touch.
Would you like a bite?
Kathleen said she wanted to lick.
No, don't say that on TV.
No, she wanted to lick some of it. She said she couldn't turn down the French silk.
Yeah, well, we got her a piece.
Yeah, we did get a piece. That's right. I forgot about that. That's why we cut the piece off, because you didn't want to get licked on, on the air with.
Tell them if they can't hear me.
And you had makeup.
French silk is so much worse.
French silk is worse? You got chocolate mustache.
It's just bad.
Look,
Can I have a towel, ladies?
You got a chocolate mustache and a great, Frankenstein forehead cut right down the middle of your forehead right there. It looks really good. Maybe 2 French silks next year.
We're going to do it. I get back, right?
Well, sure.
Well, I wouldn't you?
No, yeah.
A no-brainer.
Oh man, Ness! I loved watching you watch that. First off, we look so much younger.
Amen.
Like hair wise,
So,
you look good. You look great. I look awful now. Back then,
gives us a clue how long ago it was.
Yeah. So obviously, watching that, we did it the year before.
I think it was 2011.
Yeah. Oh, I had kids, and I didn't get a kid till 2009, so it's probably around that time. Why 2? Do you remember why I had 2?
Yeah, I don't know. Was that the second time?
It had to be the second time.
Oh,
I think
2 pies?
Yeah, it was 2.
I wonder if it was because I think the wives were going to do one.
Yeah.
So I was going to do one, and the wives got the second one.
Yeah.
And it was so funny.
So I need some
revenge.
Yeah, revenge.
Or maybe double your pleasure.
Yeah. So are we good with a pie in the face to the loser this year?
Sure. Yep.
All right.
Because I'm practiced because I had a pie in the face at the Quad State Christian Assembly last year.
Okay.
PEP Assembly. So I'm ready, and I didn't know if I could take it, but I had to. So I can do this.
What kind
of pie
was
I
that?
don't know if I could do the what?
What kind of pie was
It was
that?
a whipped cream pie.
See,
no,
the
whipped cream pie.
pies are easy. The first year we did it, it was like lemon meringue, and like it just goes into all. You can't breathe. Like it goes in your nose and your mouth, and you know.
So what was French silk, and what was it this year? Two French silks.
Looked like lemon meringue the first time around. I don't remember.
Lemon meringue and French silk.
I think so.
And you said French silk was not as good.
No, I don't think any of it was good, but we're definitely doing that. Before we get to some picks this week, I found myself back then and now, you want to pick and win, but explain it, because there's an entertainment value to it as well. Sometimes it's better to have the explanation with a little chuckle than it is to maybe get it right. How do you balance the two?
Right. Well, and not only that, but you got to throw in the fact that we can't have the same picks every week. We have to have something different. And so you kind of hope that there's, a certain number of games that are different. But yeah, you're right. There's often times where you don't pick exactly what you would like to pick, but you can't pass up that great line.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at that sweatshirt and I know exactly who I'm not picking this week.
No, you know what? I had so much fun writing these up. So here's the deal. We're going to go through a few of them right now. There'll be some college picks every week, and there'll be a lot of pro picks every week. It's about 15 total every week. We'll mix it up all the time. This week, college is a little lighter because it's opening week of the NFL, and there wasn't as many good college games.
There weren't.
It's not a great week. Obviously, we got a few good ones. And then you go to our social media, go to my social media, you click on the link, you get signed up, and you send it in. And each week we'll have a weekly winner, and they'll get a prize. And then we'll keep track throughout the entire year. And of course, you and I will keep track as well. And there'll be a winner between the two of us. I can't wait. So this great week to start. Iowa versus Iowa State. We'll go there first. Cy-Hawk game, Cy-Hawk showdown. What do you like?
Are we alternating that first pick, or are you giving the first pick every time?
I think we both know what we're doing. I'm already locked in.
Yeah, I think we do.
So
I'm locked in.
I'll go age before beauty, and I'll go you every time first.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Iowa State?
Yes.
Okay, so the home team has not won since 2011, 14 years. The home team has not won. But I sense that my heart would say, my brain would say take Iowa, but I know you're doing the Iowa Network thing. So I have a hunch that you're picking Iowa. So I'm going to go Cyclones.
I like that.
Just because.
I'll tell you this too. You'll probably see me pick Iowa every week. Probably because the old bosses are going to love me being out there picking against the Hawks. But I do have,
no, you don't want to face that crowd. Don't want to face that crowd.
I do have the Hawks, and my explanation: Hawks don't lose in Ames. They haven't lost there since 2011. And more importantly, the Hawkeyes don't lose with their new pregame host. They've never lost a game with their new pregame host. So I'm just saying, I'm going to say
they even beat Brock Purdy. They beat Brock Purdy.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
At Iowa State.
Yeah. So
right.
I'll go Iowa. You go Iowa State. Next one, Illinois at Duke. Illinois' first road test of the year. Take it away.
Yeah. Here's another one. The Illinois has not won on the road against a major conference team opponent since 2007, is what I've read.
Yeah, probably
Kedric might want to
probably non-conference.
Non-conference, yes, non-conference,
not the Big Ten.
Yes, it was non-conference. Thanks for that correction.
Yep.
But since I went against the trend in Iowa State, I'm going to go against the trend with this one, and I'm going to go Duke.
Okay.
With I'm sorry because I am an Illini fan.
Sure.
But unlike you, I don't do the Illinois broadcast things, and people aren't going to, they might see me at McDonald's, but other than that, I think I'm okay with fending off the Illini fans.
Yes, you hang out at McDonald's a lot. People see you a lot at
McDonald's.
I do.
Well, I used to. I don't as much anymore.
I love it.
Maybe we should get them as a sponsor.
I do have an Illinois helmet on the set, thanks to John.
I see that.
I'm going to go Illinois. I love what Brett Bielema is doing. I'll read what I have. Bielema and company passed their first road test with flying colors. The schedule is difficult. I don't know if they're a playoff team. Boy, they looked the part last week, and
they sure do.
It takes
and I could be 0-2 at this point
to make Iowa fans happy. I'll let you know, like finally a guy with a Tiger Hawk tattoo turned around Illinois football, because we all know that Brett Bielema has a Tiger Hawk tattoo on his leg. So it all goes back to Iowa.
We all know.
There is a couple games in college, and we're not going to pick them,
Okay.
but Central Michigan and Pitt are on there for people out there, and Michigan-Oklahoma is the big marquee game this week as well. I'm looking at the NFL. I want to do 3. We talked about 2. Let's go Steelers Jets. Do you have Steelers Jets close to you?
Oh, I do. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
That's you, and of course, age before beauty. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This is a choice between Aaron Rodgers, age, against Justin Fields, much younger, but ex-Bear.
Yeah.
And I'd really, and the Jets are at home. I'm going to go with the ex-Packer.
Wow.
Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I switched in 2014. I switched from Bears to Packer fan, and there's a whole story there too, which we won't go into now because we only have 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But someday we will. But I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Even though he's like 84 years old.
So I'll tell you this. First off, we will get the story in a different day, but Ness, we have as much time as we want. This is my show. I can do whatever the hell I want to do. It's beautiful. I love weather, guys. I love Jay-Z. There's nobody in my ear telling me to be quiet, so we can go do weather. But yeah, we'll get to that story another day. Steelers, Jets. Logan Lee. Like I'm a Logan Lee fan.
Oh, there you go.
He's with
A good one.
Pittsburgh.
Nice.
So I'm going Jets. So here we are, already 3 different. Now.
Wow.
Already 3 different, and that wasn't.
Wow.
That
This
was
is
just,
this is so us.
Yes, I love it. Okay, a little closer to home. I'm wearing the Lions sweatshirt today. NFL season starts tonight.
And I just confessed my allegiance.
Yeah, and I got this. I got my Lion. I got my Dan Campbell. I got my Calvin Johnson. Everybody knows what I like, but go ahead. You lead us off, Mr. Cheesehead, for 50. This is your 11th year as a Cheesehead, I think. So go ahead.
Yeah. Well, to counter all your juju that you got on your desk there, I should have brought out my Ness Guess bobblehead.
You should have. Oh,
I have. Then next show we will. Only if I win. If I win, I'll bring it out. If I lose, I'm gonna keep them hiding until I win one. It's kind of like standing at the beginning of a basketball game till the home team scores a basket. So we'll save that.
Makes perfect sense.
Lions Packers. I really like the acquisition of Parsons from the Cowboys. Whether he's had enough time with them, I'm not sure. But I really love. So I'm going to go with Love and all of his receivers. He's got a bevy of receivers. They're at home. Weather's not going to be Green Bay Packerish. So I don't think, because it's September.
Yeah.
But I think what a perfect first week matchup, Lions versus Packers.
I can't wait.
Yes, I'm going to take the Lions. No, just kidding.
Oh.
I'm gonna take the Packers.
All right,
I'm gonna take the Packers.
You're right. I mean, the Lions, they get an advantage weather-wise because they're a indoor team and it should be nice weather.
That's true.
It's not gonna be snowing. But last year they beat them in a monsoon, and a few years earlier they beat them in a monsoon. You know, they never win in Lambeau. The Lions haven't won in Lambeau since. You ready for this? Since last year. Since last year.
Oh, you're kidding me.
And the year before that. Hold on. And the year before that, they've won 3 straight times there. We call that. I call that Ford Field North is what I kind of call it these days. So
rubbing it in.
And you're right. I'm excited to see the best defensive player in football return. His name is Aiden Hutchinson, who was out all last year after an amazing start. You think you're crazy if you give me my Lions, baby. Let's go. So
I had Jamar Gibbs as a fantasy back last year. And so I was cheering for. Yeah, I was cheering for the Lions often.
Yeah.
But I don't have them this year, so no.
It should be a great game. I hope the Lions win. So we're four different. All right, we got one more that we're going to go through now. All 15, you can read the article just like you did back in the day. You'll go open it up and you can check out.
I got a question on that.
Yeah.
I got a question on that. Are we making comments on it?
Absolutely.
We are?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Because we're not just picking games.
No,
right,
we got the comments too.
I need to put my head on some of those. So
yeah,
I got about 80% of them.
I love it.
I'll have it.
And then, so we're going to go Vikings Bears. Obviously, Monday Night Football, 2 overrated rookie quarterbacks. I kid. No, not rookie. second-year quarterbacks. Excuse me. Although
I was gonna say,
McCarthy didn't
Williams,
play
yeah.
last year, that's why I had that in my mind. All right, Soldier Field, Monday Night Football. Your former team, you loved them until 2014. Bears Vikings. What do you like?
Well, and here's the key to this whole thing. Guess who I have as my fantasy quarterback?
Caleb?
Bears quarterback. No, huh?
Caleb Williams.
Williams.
Yeah.
Yep, Williams. I really think that he is going to have a great year. Bear fans, you should be excited. I'm kind of excited. I'm kind of leaning back toward being a Bear fan again.
You can't.
I guess I can.
Can you? Would you ever
Yes, I
fathom
can.
becoming a Cub fan for 11 years?
Never. No.
Huh?
No, it's not like baseball though. See, I'm not in football. I cheer. I used to cheer for the Bears all the time, and then I switched to the Packers, and now I cheer for whoever I have that will help me win my fantasy league.
I love it.
And so yeah, so like Jalen Hurts, big Eagles fan.
Yeah, it's amazing what fantasy football and gambling will do for you when it comes to.
Well, see, and we don't. Ours is just for pride. It's in Ben Andrews' league, so he's one of my former students, and he runs the league, and he's a Raiders fan, by the way, so you'll know which way I'm leaning there.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to have that one. I thought you were going to have the Raiders as one of our picks.
That's a good game,
but I'm not going to. Yeah, it will be. That's going to be a really good game.
I went with Steelers Jets. So, all right, give me that pick. You going Bears?
I'm going Bears.
All right, Bear down for Ness. Bear down for Ness.
You going Vikings?
I'm going Vikings, and I'll just read what I put. Brian Flores. I know, isn't it crazy? Brian Flores, defensive coordinator for the Vikings, will make Benedict Johnson. His name's not Ben Johnson anymore. It's Benedict Johnson. After you do what you do and you go to them. So Brian Flores will make Benedict Johnson long for the days of Jared Goff. I think, and I really do think it's going to be a fascinating game, but I think they're going to dial up pressures and blitzes that Brian Flores brings it from everywhere. He's going to have – now, the Lions handled it, and Ben Johnson and the Lions handled it, but I think Jared Goff's a 10-year pro. I don't know if Caleb's ready to see that, dissect it, and figure it out.
Yeah.
So
there's so much potential there. There's so much potential, and I think it's going to be fun to watch. I hope it's fun to watch because he's on my team. But I really think that he's got a really good. They had a great draft of receivers.
Yeah.
So I think that they have some tools there. It's going to come down to defense. I really think it's going to come down to defense.
Yeah.
It's going to Vikings Bears.
Yeah.
No, probably a low scoring game. Do you have points on that one, by the way?
I don't. I put 42 down for our tiebreaker, but I didn't look.
I put 44.
Okay, geez.
But I might change it to 41.
So Ness, there's 15 games. We only did 5, and we're completely different with all 5. This is going to be so much fun. I don't know if everybody's going to love it. I can't get enough of this. I don't care. I mean, I think everybody is going to love it, but this is so much fun.
I can't imagine picking 5 games in which we're totally different on all 5.
And those were I kid you not, people out there, like these were the 5 I was going to do. The first NFL game, the Jets,
Iowa, Illinois, Bears, those are obvious,
Bears,
and Lions,
Bears and Packers.
So the ones you surprised me on was the Steelers and the Jets. I wasn't expecting that one.
Yeah, I just popped it in there.
But I like that.
I like
the Aaron Rodgers angle.
Yeah, and I like the Logan Lee shout
there
out.
too. Yes. And I like Aaron Rodgers shout out because he's twice my age.
Yeah, I love it. Ness, this is going to be a ton of fun. So everybody get out there. If you go to my social media, Ness will have it on his. We're going to get it out to as many people as possible. Sign up, play per week, play for the year, check out the article, all that kind of stuff. Ness Guess is back. It's got to feel pretty good, right?
It does. It feels really good. And it's fun. It is fun. And I can't wait. to do the remote at Hungry Hobo. I think that's going to be the best.
I hope Price is cool with that. I'm almost positive
he'll be cool.
That's what we do. We put pressure. It's one of those things you ask for forgiveness, not for permission. Like I'll apologize if he's not happy right now, but I'm pretty sure he's happy. So Ness, be good. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, Dazzle.
All right. That is Marc Nesseler. Long time, I'm gonna call him a Quad City sports legend, and I mean it. Long time sports editor at the Dispatch Rock Island Argus. 37 years of Ness Guess, and I was serious with him. He was here in studio, and I said, "Let's bring back Ness Guess in football season." and I think it's an awesome idea. Thank you to Hungry Hobo once again for their support with it. And get online, check it out, fill it out, and join in the fun. And hopefully I don't get a pie in my face. But either way, it'll be a lot of fun. So anyways, we got more to get to. You're watching Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with.
Give me the keys.
Learning to drive can be stressful for both the student and, yes, the parent as well. Relax. There's an easy way to avoid the stress. Skiles Driving School in East Moline has been helping new drivers hit the road with confidence for over 20 years. Whether you're a teen earning your first license or an adult looking for behind-the-wheel training, we've got you covered. Their certified instructors are patient, experienced, and use modern vehicles equipped for safety and comfort. From classroom instruction to real-world driving, we make learning safe, affordable, and even fun. Call 309-278-0098 or visit skylesdriving.com. Skiles Driving School. Get in, buckle up, drive your future forward.
Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. It's been a fun show on the first day of the NFL season. The things kick off tonight. Cowboys, Eagles. Should be a really good game. And football's back. That's why the Lions is on the sweatshirt's on. I got my Lions mug here. Always got my Lions apparel. So it's been a really fun show. We continue to talk about the Cy-Hawk game with Tom Kakert and Bill Seals from the Hawkeye Report and Cyclone Report. Really good stuff there, kind of getting us set for the game on Saturday. Now less than 48 hours away. So of course, shockingly enough, Tom Kakert picked the Hawkeyes and Bill Seals picked the Cyclones. So Kedric Prince was was on as well, talking Duke and Illinois. That game at 11 o'clock on Saturday as well. If you missed that, go back and check it out. And then we just wrapped up with Marc Nesseler. Ness Guess is back. Once the show gets done, head to all my social media, click on the link, pick the games. You're entered into a contest, weekly winners, all that kind of fun stuff. So it should be a lot of fun. You can read the article there as well when it comes to my thoughts, Ness's thoughts. We'll keep track on how we each do. And, of course, loser takes a pie in the face I've done that before. If you saw earlier in the show, it's not fun. So hopefully better luck this time for me. Make sure you check out all the shows that we've had this week on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Tuesday, jam-packed with Rusty Van Wetzinga, Tom Barber from Alleman, and Pat Anger. Yesterday, we had Kyle Huseman talking Iowa women's basketball recruiting and a little Cy Hawk as well. Our friend Jake Brent from the Cyclone Fanatic was on with us as well. And then Ty Taylor from WRMJ talking high school football. Of course, today's show, jam-packed as always. Tomorrow we take the show on the road, OTA on the road at Geneseo High School. It'll be Assumption and Geneseo, a unique battle tomorrow. So we'll get you set for that game and all the high school football action tomorrow. That promises to be a bunch of fun. Our friends Mitch and Greg from View from the West will be on with us tomorrow as well. Don't forget the Hawkeye Tailgate Show. Saturday morning, 9 o'clock from Big Grove Brewery in city area. Stop by, say hi. If not, check us out on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Here in the Quad Cities, it's Vintage Radio 107.7. So that should be a bunch of fun. And then don't forget, we'll have an off-the-air post-game show on Saturday afternoon, when it comes to the Hawkeyes and Cyclones. Tom Kakert will join me for that as well. So a lot to get to this week. Football officially back in all three stages. We talked about it at the top, but high school football in week 2, college football in week 2, and the NFL starts this week. It starts tonight with the Eagles and the Cowboys. Tomorrow's the Chiefs and Chargers, I think. And then a full slate of games on Sunday, and then Monday Night Football, Vikings and Bears, and we'll talk all about that game coming up on Monday as well. So a lot to get to here on the show. Enjoying the week, enjoying the fact that football is back and better than ever as well. So thank you guys for watching. We want to thank our sponsors. You've seen them throughout the show. They're awesome sponsors that allow us to do this each and every day right here in the Quad Cities, Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Enjoy your Thursday, Quad Cities. We'll see you on the road from Geneseo High School tomorrow on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo.